Hi Bio4 and welcome to part 4 of the heart. We want to look at the pulmonary circulation now. So think about what's happening here. Deoxygenated blood is arriving at the heart. It's arriving to the right ventricle. Okay, so this is a list. If we go down a list, can we do that? Can we go and mention every vessel, every chamber, every valve, and show with arrows all the way that this one drop of blood is going to go, where it's going to come back to on the other side of the heart and out. It's a maze, right? But we need to do that. So let's do one at a time. Again, it's repetitive, but this is how you learn it. So superior vena cava, coming into the right atrium and past the valve, which is an atrioventricular, but which one? Try before you buy. So it's the tricuspid valve, and it's coming down into the right ventricle. After the right ventricle, here's my arrow. It's going to go past the semilunar valve, pulmonary semilunar valve, out through the pulmonary trunk, and then to the pulmonary arteries. Notice how the arteries are blue here, and it's because by definition, if it's leaving the heart, it's an artery, regardless of all this that I just spoke about is deoxygenated blood. It's blood that's low in oxygen, and all the function of the right side of the heart, all it has to do is just pump it to the lung. That is its function in life, is to take that deoxygenated blood and get it to the lung. So it got it to the lung already. Okay, I thought I was drawing there. My pen's not pen. So if I got to the lungs here, and then from the lung, it's going to come back. It's loaded up with oxygen. Now it's going to come back here at step 6 here through the pulmonary veins, even though they look red. Veins because they're arriving at the heart. Past the bicuspid or mitral valve. In, did I say right? This is left. Left ventricle. From left ventricle, now this is going to go under here, right? It's going to underneath, tunnel underneath, and out the aorta. And now it's going to the rest of the body. Now it's oxygenated. So left side, oxygenated. Right side, deoxygenated. In the middle of those is where you pick it up in the lung. So be sure to know those. They're all listed for you here so that you can be sure and check yourself. And there it is again so that you can do it learning them without seeing them written down. Excellent. Okay, what I want to show you also is what it looks like when there's blood in there. So here, remember that what's happening in the right and in the left side of the heart is simultaneous, right? Both sides are pumping at the same time. So we always indicate what's happening here, and then it goes back and it comes back on the other side. Yeah, but this is happening simultaneously, right? The blood that's leaving here, yes, it's going to go to the lung, but in the meantime, this one's pumping the lung. The blood has already come from the lung. So this diagram is showing it full in the atria, coming down into the ventricles. Nice picture here because now it's going to contract. It's going to contract and look, ooh, closed valves. Atrioventricular valves on both sides are closed. Okay, so it can't go back up into the atria. It only has one way out now through these vessels, either pulmonary trunk or aorta. So now let's see what's happening. This is going to increase the pressure here until it's going to shoot out the trunk and shoot out the aorta. And the next step is the heart relaxes, right? You're going to go lub-dub, lub-dub. So squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax. So it's squeezing here, which means it's ejecting. And then here, it's relaxing. So as it relaxes, that blood tries to come all the way back down into the ventricle, but it is stopped by the semilunar valves, like my teacups here, that fill up, not allowing blood to return back into the ventricle. And then it starts all over again. In order to listen to those heart sounds, this is where those valves would be. And this is just showing where the stethoscope would go to be able to listen to those valves to make sure that there's no leaking, because that would not be good if it's traveling back into another chamber. So that's what we call a murmur. Murmur is when you listen to that trickling returning to a different chamber that it shouldn't be, and that is a faulty valve. Sounds that we hear that I was referring to, lub-dub, 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 what you're hearing, dub-dub, dub-dub, in the heart is the blood crashing up against a valve. So we say that the lub has to do with the closing of the atrioventricular, because once it's closed, now blood's going to crash against that, and you're going to hear bloop, right? And then dub is the closing of the next set, and it's not the actual closing that you're hearing. What you're hearing is turbulence of blood hitting that closed door, right? That door that won't open in that direction. This is a kind of questions that you'll get, so I'm going to just do this one and then stop. Which of the following carries oxygen-poor blood to the lungs from the heart? So oxygen-poor blood to the lungs from the heart. I'm going to leave you with that. You've got to figure out what it is, and I'm going to stop it right there. Thanks for coming.